She down there cooking some damn spam.
No, it's just mysterious.
I like barbecue sauce.
Hey everyone, it's Micah Fragrance here, back at it again with another video. If you are interested in fragrances and fragrance related content, please make sure to drop a sub and a like if you have not already. It greatly supports the channel, and that is all I do on this channel. In today's video, we're switching it up a little bit. I know I say this every time I do just like a new video. I'm like, yeah, I'm switching it up. Anyways, we are pretty much switching it up today. We are going to be doing, instead of cheap fragrances, expensive fragrances, more specifically, my top 3 expensive fragrances. I wanted to do this because, you know, a big part of my channel is I wanted to get cheaper fragrances to showcase. So, you know, more people, the general public, I suppose you could say, would have enough money to afford those fragrances. And that's always been something that is important to me. However, doing a 180 on that, I still care about people who can't afford expensive fragrances, obviously. But for the people who, you know, do have a pretty good budget, here are 3 phenomenal fragrances. My top 3 expensive fragrances of all time. This is pretty much like $150 plus. I feel like that's a pretty decent like standard for what becomes an expensive fragrance. Even though, you know, why I put expensive in air quotes is because expensive is subjective for everyone. $20 can be expensive to some people. $500 is possibly for some people where it starts to get expensive. So 3 fragrances. Let's get into the video. Number 3 is my newest niche pickup, Nishani Ani Extrait de Parfum. So this is like $200, $300 retail, somewhere around that, but you can get it on a discounter for around $160. I don't think you get the big fat 3.4 ounce like I have for that price. I think maybe you get like a 50 or 30 ml, but I don't know, you could end up getting a 3.4 ounce for well under $200. This is a very good fragrance. To me, it almost reminds me of like a lemon caramel sugar cookie. The note breakdown will be up here. To the average person, they just say that this is a citrus, like lemony, and I believe it's not even lemon. I believe it's like bergamot, but it could be lemon. But a lot of people say it's this just citrusy vanilla bomb, and I can definitely attest to that. You know, a lot of vanilla in there, a lot of citrus, good. It kind of does have this slight rough opening. It is Extrait de Parfum. It is very, very strong. I did about 3 sprays and I started like choking myself out. But after the first like 10, 15 minutes, it was fine. It was actually really enjoyable and great projection, great longevity. I just realized every fragrance on this list is very, very strong. With Nishani Ani, this is at least a 12 plus hour fragrance on me. Like this one is one of these strong, probably tied, first and second are tied in my collection. 12 plus hours of longevity, 4 to 5 feet of projection. Honestly, I'd say like 5 plus feet of projection. Very good fragrance, very strong. I think you can definitely wear this one year round. Maybe be careful, especially in like the heat with it, but in the cool, most definitely. And even in the slighter warm weather, most definitely you can rock Nishani Ani and you will get some compliments with it. Next one, this was my favorite fragrance of all time at one point. Dior Sauvage Elixir. This one doesn't have, you know, that bad rap that the original Sauvage has. However, I've had a decent amount of people get confused on my channel thinking Sauvage Elixir is just Sauvage, and they try clowning on me for it, and I'm like, hey, it's Sauvage Elixir, not just Sauvage. Sauvage Elixir, very good fragrance. This, to me, it's this woodsy lavender licorice bomb. I'm sure that there's still ambroxan in here like the original. I don't believe that this has any of like the bergamot like the original, but this is just a very good fragrance. Licorice root, that is something I always like to point out. Sometimes I say, oh yeah, there's licorice in here. And people think, oh, it's going to smell like black licorice, or it's going to smell like how black licorice tastes. That is not, you know, that could be further from the truth with this fragrance. It's a very earthy herbal citrus. So it's just like really rich woodsy, or I didn't mean to say citrus. It's this really rich woodsy herbal licorice. Very good fragrance. Yeah. It doesn't smell like black licorice. Don't worry about that if that is what you might be worried about when you hear licorice in this fragrance. This is, again, tied number 1 and number 2. These are my 2 strongest fragrances in my collection. Again, 12 plus hours, 5 plus feet of projection. Very good fragrance. I do 3 sprays on both of those fragrances, and it's funny because this fragrance, again, very strong. I do 3 sprays with. I didn't realize, and maybe this is something to think about, but as fragrances get more and more expensive, maybe they get longer lasting. I know in some cases that's not true. In this case, with these 3 fragrances, you know, my favorite expensive fragrances happen to be very long lasting fragrances. Sauvage Elixir, around $180 retail for the 2 ounce, and I believe it's $220 for the 3.4. And then discounters, I believe the 3.4 is like 190, maybe 200. And then the 2 ounce is around like 160. So still above $150, but definitely a little bit cheaper. There is a clone for Sauvage Elixir, very popular one, Latafa Assad. Maybe check that one out. However, it's not going to have the performance that the original, that the real Sauvage Elixir has, which is why a lot of people buy it. And the last one, my number one in this list, is City Rhythm Redline 2654, mixed between City Rhythm Miami and San Diego. That's something unique. I haven't seen a lot of brands actually combine two of their fragrances to make like a super fragrance, I suppose you could say. Extrait de Parfum, let's get a look. Nice, very oily fragrance. This, to me, this is definitely the best. This is one of the best in my collection, for sure. Wow, this is a beautiful, it's this like limey, coconut, vanillic fragrance. It has this like sweet blue candy vibe to it. I believe I get that sweet blue candy vibe from San Diego. If you have smelt Miami, this smells like Miami, a little more toned down with like that coconut nutty sweetness. This has a nice added dose of vanilla. And as I said, it has that nice blue candy vibe to it. Very good fragrance, very sweet. Very long lasting as well. This one, again, is a beast. This one is probably 12 hours of longevity. However, it doesn't have like that insane projection. Still very good projection. I do 3 sprays with this one as well. And I get about 3 to 4 feet of projection. So still very, very, very good projection. It's just simply not on par as the other ones. But for one that you can wear year round, I think that this is the best overall option. Simply because you still get amazing longevity. It is not as strong as these others I showed on this list. And I think it's going to be more mass appealing because it's just this fruity sweet. It's this fruity sweet coconut scent. It's very, very good. $190 for the 3.4 ounce, $150 for the 1.7 ounce, and $90 for the 1 ounce. Now, the one thing that sucks about City Rhythm, it's very hard to find them on discounters. Majority of the times, yeah, you can find decants of them, but discounters really don't sell City Rhythms just because they're an indie niche house, and a lot of indie niche brands are too expensive and don't make really enough bottles to justify, you know, selling them to discounters because people are buying City Rhythms. That's no secret. People are buying Nishanis and Dior's. That's no secret. But, you know, Nishani and Dior are big enough brands to the point where, yes, they will be on discounters. Definitely look around on discounters. However, for Redline in specific, I've never been able to find it on discounters. Phenomenal fragrance. Again, overall pick, my overall pick, one of my favorite fragrances in my collection. Best expensive fragrance in my collection. Very, very, very good juice. Let me know what you guys think about my 3 choices. You think that they're good? You guys think I'm bugging? Let me know in the comments below. As well, let me know your top 3 expensive fragrances in the comments below. I'm very interested, as always, to hear your guys' thoughts on my video and your thoughts on, you know, the expensive fragrances in your collection. Let me know in the comments below. Again, please drop a sub and a like if y'all have not already. It really supports the channel. Thank you all. Have a great day. Peace, everyone.